Hi everyone, how was my last tutorial about the hobbies in the German language? Do comment in the comment section. Now before you study this tutorial, please check out my whole tutorial 14 on the grammar of the German cases. Also the whole tutorial 21 on the regular and irregular verbs in German language and my last tutorial 22 on hobbies. Please note that in order to understand my tutorials better, you need to be learning my tutorials from tutorial 1 onwards in the order in which I have uploaded these tutorials. Now in this tutorial, I am introducing a new grammar in German. This is about how we can describe movement or motion or direction by asking about the movement or direction and telling someone about it. So moving on, since this is an introduction to describing movement or direction in German, this tutorial will hopefully not be confusing. Now, when you are in motion or when you're moving, you are obviously going in some direction. Now, the direction in which you choose to go or describing the direction to somebody will come in my later tutorials. So actually, for the time being, you will just study how to describe movement in German. For describing movement, the question wohin is used in German. Wohin means where to. As for example, if I ask someone, where are you going to? But you will have noticed that in English we can also simply ask, where are you going? And leave out the to at the end. But this to at the end is important to keep in the German language because actually this question wohin has another German question in it, which is the two-letter word wo. Wo on its own means where, and the hin of this question wohin means to. Now, where in German uses a different grammar when we use the question wo to describe location in German. But wohin is the question that is only used to describe motion or direction in German, never location. That is why the to in the question is important and the word hin means the to. So wohin therefore means where to. Also note that in describing the motion or direction, accusative case or accusative casus as we call it in German, is used. That is why I mentioned earlier that you need to go through my tutorial 14 before studying this tutorial, as tutorial 14 covers the first two German cases, nominative and accusative. So, having studied that tutorial, you should be able to understand this tutorial better. Also, the other tutorials 21 and 22 have German verbs which use the accusative case. Except for certain German verbs mentioned in those tutorials, but most of them use the accusative case. Then, in describing motion or direction, certain German prepositions are used. Präpositionen in German, and the prepositions are in and zu. Of these two prepositions, I will just be showing you how the preposition in is used to describe the motion. But you do need to understand that the German in preposition is the same as the English preposition in. As you can see in this picture, the German in preposition will show the movement in or into a certain defined space or room. By this space or room, I mean that this place will be usually a place with walls. So, for example, buildings or any other place that has walls in the outside and that makes that place a defined place into which someone is moving. The German in preposition can also be generally used to mean the to preposition in English. Confused how the German in preposition can mean in and to at the same time? This I will be showing you a bit later in this tutorial. Then the zu preposition in German is only used to mean the English to preposition, never the in. So zu is only used in German when you are describing motion, but the motion to get to a certain place, not to enter it. When you are going to describe entrance into that place, then you will use the preposition in. Using just one verb, gehen, which is a regular verb and also a verb which uses the accusative case and it means to go, I will show you how to ask someone where he or she is going to. Now, to ask in German, where are you going to? The question will look like this. Wohin gehst du? So the verb gehen, because it is a regular verb, will be conjugated like this. So do check out my tutorials 21 and 22 in which I have mentioned this verb gehen and also mentioned how the regular verbs are conjugated. question you will be asking to someone who is your friend, your family member, or anyone that you know well because you're using do. Otherwise, if you're asking someone you don't know well, someone who is senior to you in position, or someone is older than you, for example, or someone you have met for the first time, some stranger on a street, for example, then the question will be wohin gehen Sie, where Z is the form of you that is used to address someone formally. Now, the interesting thing about this question wohin, as I mentioned earlier also, that it is made up of wo and hin, where wo means where and hin means to. So, in German, you can also separate this question in such a way that wo remains in the beginning of the question and hin comes at the end of the question, like this. Wo gehst du hin? Wo gehen Sie hin? Now the questions wohin gehst du and wo gehst du hin mean the same. In the same manner, wohin gehen Sie and wo gehen Sie hin mean the same as well. Now, even though I mentioned that wo on its own means where and used in German to talk about location and not movement or direction, but note that the word hin is still in this question. So this is not a question with the question wo, but it still is a question with wohin. The only difference is that hin has been separated from wo and is coming at the end of the question. So these are the four possible ways of asking someone informally or formally where he or she is going to. So do stay updated for part 2 of this tutorial, in which I show you how to answer someone where you're going to.